In this Tower Fantasy video, I'm going to show you how I've made the basic plain old EM Blade one of my most powerful weapons. Seriously, this weapon is a monster with the right build, so don't sleep on it. If you're new here, please sub to this channel for all things Tower Fantasy, news and info, builds and gameplay, and turn notifications on too because I stream the game most afternoons at reset, and it would be really cool if you came through, said what's up, or hung out for a while and joined our growing community. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to show you a few things, so be sure to watch until the end. I'm going to show you how to make the EM Blade hit harder as an individual weapon with a little known fact about the game, a tip that you can use across all weapons. Then I'm going to give you a few relic choices to help augment your damage output, and then finally a balanced EM Blade build that will work in any situation, including weapon pairings and chips to use on all weapons involved for the best possible results. Now, this build is still a work in progress, and I fully intend to do updated builds for all weapons when resources become available to us, so be sure to check back daily. And as a heads up, I use an Xbox controller with my PC to play the game, and I suggest you do the same. I bought a Power A wired controller for 40 bucks at GameStop, and it's been the best purchase I've made for this game, hands down. So if you were like me when you first picked up the game and started using the EM Blade, you noticed that it looked really flashy, but the damage was buns. So to make the damage not buns, you must use the EM Blade's combos, and I'm not talking about spamming the normal attack button over and over. If you look at the EM Blade stat sheet in the game, you'll notice a little magnifying glass seen here. Click it and you get a bunch of information on different attacks you can do beyond the normal spam. Aside from the 5-hit combo, you have my favorite attack for this weapon, the Cyclone. After any normal attack, you can hold the attack button down and it will launch most targets into the air, at which time you can jump up there with them and perform the basic 5-hit combo that ends in a powerful downward strike that slams your target, if amped, back down to the ground in a stun state so you can continue to combo them. And then you've got the diving edge, which basically if you hit and hold the attack button in midair, you do a sort of downward spin that does increased damage. You can get even more damage the higher you are when you activate this attack. So already with just these two techniques, there are a few different damaging combos you can do. My favorite is hit the full 5-hit combo on the ground, ending with a hold that launches the target up. Then while airborne, hit another 5-hit combo to slam them down to finish it off, or you have the option of using the EM Blade skill, Roam. Roam is perfect for attacking mobs of enemies and is where most of your damage is going to come from. The downside is that this skill kinda sucks on single targets, but when there are multiple targets in close proximity to you, you can hit all of them and then extend the combo by continuing your attack with another 5-hit combo. And if you have a weapon that is ready to go with discharge, this combo becomes even more lethal. Another cool feature of this weapon, and probably all Volt weapons now and in the future, is weapon charging. When you use your current weapon repeatedly, it builds up charge in your other weapons, which indicates that they are ready to discharge an ultimate attack when you switch to them. If you don't switch to them and continue using your current weapon, in this case the EM Blade, your weapon is fully charged. Using a fully charged Volt weapon on a target paralyzes for 1 second, electrifies them for 6 seconds, which negates all their buffs and deals them extra damage based on your own attack score. And what's more, they can't receive any buffs for the next 6 seconds. To get even more damage out of the EM Blade, you must make sure it's chipped using the weapon matrix system. At level 20, you gain access to weapon matrices, which for all intents and purposes is gear for your weapon. You get 4 slots and most chipsets activate with a 3-set bonus. For a budget build, there is no greater chipset for the EM Blade than the standard operation chipset, which increases damage dealt by Volt weapons by 6%. You can even upgrade these individual chips so they can do more damage. The EM Blade is not an SSR weapon, or even an SR weapon. It's a rare, the lowest of the low, trash. So with that in mind, if you are going to seriously use it, you will need to make sure it's as strong as it can possibly be, which means upgrading it as high as it can go for your current level, and developing all 4 of its chips as high as they can go as well. A tip for this that uses the randomness of the game is to have all 4 of the standard operation chips as high as they can go for each matrix slot: mind, memory, belief, and emotion. You only need 3 for the set bonus, which leaves 1 free agent chip. Look and see what random higher tier chip that you have and use that for the free slot. Each chip has different substats that directly affect your character. Mind enhances HP and crit, memory is attack and HP, belief is also attack and HP, and emotion is attack and resistance. Now, if you can help it in any situation, use the mind slot for your higher tier chip because you only have 1 substat for crit. You want to use this strat on your highest damage dealing weapon. So we talked about how to make the EM Blade stronger on its own, but what about other things you can do to make a strong, balanced build surrounding this sword? Well, you'll need a couple of good weapon pairings. For balanced builds, the game suggests a healing weapon and a shield breaker weapon. For a shield breaker, there is no other choice for me besides the meltdown shield axe that comes when you get Huma. This is a fire type weapon that transforms from a shield to an axe and deals insane amounts of damage. For this weapon, you'll want to chip it with the self-explosive chipset, which increases fire damage by 6%. You use this weapon whenever you see a shielded enemy pop up and spam its attacks, normal and aerial, until you break the shield and you can switch back to the EM Blade to get faster DPS. For a healer weapon, any healing wand, scepter, staff will do because you're only using it for heals, which if you are doing an instance with other people, someone else should also be healing as well, though in some cases you might be the only healer, which has been the case for me a few times already and it sucks. The healing staff I go with is Absolute Zero using the SR chipset Barbarossa Power Play Double Nightmares, which grants you damage reflection for 3 seconds when you switch to the weapon. When you switch from a weapon that's chipped with this set, you gain a percentage-based damage boost for 5 seconds, so it may be a good play to switch to the weapon for heals when discharge is ready, then spam attacks with it until another discharge is ready for another weapon, so that when you switch and use that discharge skill, you get increased damage. And one final piece to the EM Blade damage puzzle is the right relic. For me, the choice is pretty clear. It's the Lava Bomb. You get this by collecting 20 SR Relic shards, and it is perfect for the DPS who wants to have another option for damage without throwing off their combat flow. The Lava Bomb is a grenade that you throw into an area and it deals crazy amounts of fire-based damage to anything in that area. The best use of this for damage is to wait for a mob of unshielded enemies and throw this thing right at them, and they all take the same or near the same damage depending on their proximity to the blast zone. You can either launch it far or do a quick throw right in front of you if you're using your shield breaker and just finish breaking shields on a mob. Alright, so now comes the time when I'll show you this balanced build in action. This clip you're seeing is a joint operation I did as a balanced character, one who's not super focused on DPS, but instead can cover all aspects if need be. If the healer should happen to go down or heals are not up and the team needs heals, the balanced player can fill in. If there are a dumb amount of shielded enemies in the area and the designated tank is overwhelmed and can't break them all quick enough, the balanced player can help there too. And then finally the DPS, which this build is more than capable of doing alongside the hotshot Ripper on your team who has 3 DPS weapons because they selfishly just want to deal damage while you take care of everything else. And if you and the team don't and they die, they leave. So then now you have to become the DPS. Alright, like seriously, I can't tell you how annoying that is. Alright, so this is me recording my voice after the fact. I'm just going to do some freestyle live commentary over the gameplay because I haven't really did the commentary as I've been playing. I've just been sort of playing the game, and I made this gameplay specifically for this video because I wanted to see exactly how well I could do. Now, you'll see right now that Elsewhere is clearly top DPS, right? Now, I am going to be battling Zoo Ports for second DPS, in which DPSing, high DPSing wasn't really my main goal, although I was trying to get as much DPS out as I could. But these are a couple of things that I want you to keep in mind. Like I said earlier, the EM Blade is a rare weapon. It is literally a rare weapon. Not SR, not SSR, it's rare. It's blue, so it's not that good, alright? I've did everything I could to it to make it as strong as I possibly could so it can keep up in damage. And then also I've got the SSR Shield Axe. That weapon is definitely going to supplement and do a little bit more damage, but I think the main thing to remember here is that I am using one weapon that is a rare weapon. I've got one weapon that is not a DPS weapon. It's a support weapon that's not going to do any damage whatsoever. And then I do have a shield axe, which does do really good damage, but it's very slow DPS, although it sort of makes up for it. So keep those things in mind when you're looking at these DPS numbers. Don't be like, well, you're supposed to be using this EM Blade, and you said this EM Blade is so powerful and does all the damage. I mean, realistically, a rare weapon is not supposed to out DPS somebody who is trying extremely hard like Elsewhere with, you know, SSR weapons. I think Elsewhere, what is that? He's got the Scythe. Yeah, she's got King's Scythe. That's Zoo Sports has got the Scythe. I can't see where Elsewhere is. He's up in the lead. And Elsewhere is actually not here to get rewards, I think. Okay, yeah, he's getting that reward. I thought he was just kind of going past. But yeah, I'm doing my absolute best here. Now, there's one thing that I can say on this that was sort of a bungle, a mess up on my part. For my Relic, I'm not using the lava grenade. I still stand by the lava grenade, but this is the best run that I've been able to do so far with the EM blade. I mean, I guess I could go and do another one, but I've been working on this video all day, and I kind of want to put this out there to you guys to let you know, because it's really not that important as long as you see what I'm doing with the EM blade and you can sort of mimic it if you want to. It's just that I was talking about this on stream the last time I streamed the game, and it was just like saying how cool the EM blade looks, and it just doesn't do damage. So I was like, well, you know what? It's a rare weapon. I want to do everything I can do for it to make it do damage, as far as giving it other paired weapons that help it to do more damage or help you to get more damage out, and then at the same time making it as strong as it could possibly go. But man, these runs though that I've been doing, like I did 3 runs before this. There was one where I was top DPS, which was insane. I was going neck and neck with one guy, and then one player died, and the other teammates that were there, like, they were doing a very poor job of picking people up, and then it just felt like I was the only one that was like doing healing or trying to heal. I mean, I looked at one point and I did see somebody else pull out a staff, but their heals were just not that good. Now, I'm not sure, correct me if I'm wrong, I haven't seen all of the chips yet. I mean, the game is still pretty brand new as of the making of this video. It's 8/15/2022, so I don't know when you're watching this video. It could be a month from now, 2 months from now, it could be tomorrow. But as far as I know, they don't have any chips in the game yet that directly like affect your healing and make your healing better. They could, I don't know, I haven't seen all the chips. Like I said, we're only at level, I think the highest of us right now, because the levels are sort of like time gated or level capped per day. I think we're just in the mid 30s right now as far as our level goes. So you know, they might unlock some new chips for us that definitely have healing, or with an update they'll give us some healing chips. But for right now, I don't think there are any chips that directly affect your healing. So I don't know if you can become better at healing or not. I think it's just you have to upgrade your weapon as high as it can go. I definitely think though, with this game and doing these joint runs, I think it is incumbent and important on everybody to at least run heals. Like, there should be, if you're going to DPS, it should be 2 DPS and heals. You're going to be the shield, the tank, you need to have 2 tank shield breaker weapons and then a heal. It should be something like that, because it just sort of sucks. Look, this is how I got some good damage. This is how I was able to beat Zooports, because I was able to get on top of this thing's back. I still have zero idea how I'm able to do that. I've been doing it a lot though, and I do it on accident, but that's a really cool feature they added on the game. It kind of reminds me of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. But yeah, look at this. This is just insane. I'm using the EM blade and I'm getting this much damage. And again, I'm not main DPS. I'm not trying to be DPS. I'm actually just an all-around balanced support character with a rare weapon. I've got one SSR, the shield axe, that does really good damage for sure. So I guess that might be kind of carrying a little bit. But compared to these other people, bro, who I just feel like the EM blade, it's okay. It's not completely horrible, like it's bad, but I don't think it's bad like that. I definitely think it's useful. You just have to be able to max it out and use it, and I really like the way that the combos look. I think it's really cool. I think it's a really sick looking weapon. Is it the best Volt weapon? Not at all. I think the twin daggers that you get from Crow when you pull him on the banner, I think those are probably going to be the best DPS weapons. I was thinking about it earlier today, like last video I made, I think I said something like the weapons, those twin daggers are kind of not good, but after playing with them a little bit, and because I was doing some testing, I was gonna put like a part in this video and show, like, I'll do this run solo and show you how much damage I can do, or show you the damage numbers with this, and then I'll go and use the EM blade and show you the same numbers. And it just turned out like it was crazy. Like, I did the same run with other people using the twin daggers, and the DPS was just, it was seriously night and day. Seriously night and day. I instantly out DPS the other people that were in the run when I switched out the EM blade with the dual daggers. So definitely the Volt weapons, they might be among the best DPS in the game for sure. I haven't got Samir and the EM stars yet, and I hear that they're actually really decent, but I hope the game will actually allow me to get those pretty soon here. Well, it looks like this is drawing to a close. The DPS is almost over with. You can see right now I am in second place with 873,000 points of damage out. The third place is right behind me though, and if you think about it, man, that's really kind of sad, bro. He really couldn't keep up with the EM blade. You know what I'm talking about? Like, the EM blade just really how did he get MVP?